Hi.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of Stay F Homekins.
That's right. Stay F Homekins, a quarantine podcast hosted by a married couple.
And that's us.
What's your name?
My name is Janie Tompkins.
My name is Paul F. Tompkins. We're married. We live in Los Angeles.
He's a comedian.
She's an actress.
We've been married for 10 years.
That's right. 10 years in April.
Yes.
And now we are experiencing a great test of our relationship.
Really? Actually, yeah, let's hope this podcast is not some kind of like witnessing to an unraveling of a married couple.
It'd be great podcasting, though.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
People who talk about it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So
Oh my
this
God.
is now,
No.
This is the most we've ever spent around each time.
This is like, okay, we actually enjoy one another's company.
True.
So we're already ahead of the game in that department.
Very true.
For like a self-isolation, stay-at-home, social distancing, safer-at-home order.
Yes.
We're not in quarantine, thankfully. We have not been around anyone diagnosed yet with coronavirus.
That we know of.
And neither one of us have symptoms.
No.
However, I'm waiting for the other shooter. How many times a day have you thought you had coronavirus? Because I spend a few times a day being like, oh, I got it.
We're different in that way
Oh,
because
yeah.
I don't think that I have it already.
Oh, you don't?
But I think I'm going to get it.
Oh, see, I'm convinced I'm like carrying it.
I know. But you're not.
It might be. You don't know that. People carry the virus.
I don't know for sure, but I know you.
Asymptomatically.
I know you, and you're not that type of person.
I'm not the type that, I would have it symptomatically.
If anybody would.
Actually, it's true. I probably would because, well, I'm very sensitive, like in my body and in my psyche and in my, like I was just telling someone today about how, like, if you were to talk to me about something that skeeves me out, like rodents or insects, or if like, for example, like if I go to the Natural History Museum.
This is a true story.
If I go to like the Natural History, this is just like an example. In the Natural History Museum, they have these like glass boxes with live insects in them. And there's like, and if I walk toward.
Just crazy bugs.
Just crazy, like terrifying. Like probably
prehistoric
looking.
Yeah.
If I walk toward one, you can watch the hair on my arms raise. If I step back, it goes down. If I go toward, it goes up. It's literally like some kind of like primal survival response in my body that I can. So like any
like a little cave woman.
But like any twinge I have, I'm like, I've got coronavirus, I've got COVID-19, or a new strain of it or something, or I had to,
Wait, what? You thought you had a mutated version of it?
Because it's gonna happen. Because that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I guess we're all gonna get it at some point.
I mean, the here's the thing is that everyone seems to be guessing what is going to happen
because it's new. They don't know.
It's new. That's why they call it the novel coronavirus.
It's novel.
But I don't know. I feel like maybe it makes sense to be kind of fatalistic about it and say it's going to happen, and the best I can do is try to mitigate it as much as possible, catch it as early as possible. Hopefully the tests come through.
Yes, because I read something about, so basically we're in this for like a long haul, like an 18-month period, because there won't be a vaccine for a long time, and they can't treat viruses. There's no cure for viruses, and it's going to wax and wane. By the way, I think now is a good time to say that neither one of us are scientists.
Honey, good catch.
Yeah.
We should have said it at the top.
We are not scientists. We just like read shit online.
Yeah, man. Just like you. So don't judge us.
I consume a lot, like every morning. Like I'm ready to consume it. But like it's going to wax and wane. Like it's even possible that it could subside in the summer months, like the flu, and then come back. And then those second and third waves could be worse than this first wave that we're seeing.
Yes. So it is not good and not going to be better.
No, I guess. I don't know. Well, hopefully they'll, figure out how to vaccinate for it.
I fucking
or that
hope
will
so.
develop I don't. Well, do you know what herd mentality or herd mentality?
I know about herd mentality for sure. Herd immunity,
immunity.
from what I understand, herd immunity is like, and I first heard this term because of the anti-vaxxing movement. Is that
right? Because they would say we could not develop. Isn't that right? That we could not develop herd immunity.
Well, if you're not doing vaccines, if you're not vaccinating your child against these old diseases, that you weaken the herd immunity because you're bringing back these diseases. So everybody, I can't explain it. I feel like it's what I feel like I know what it means.
Yeah,
but I can't explain it. Basically, the idea is we as a herd have built up certain immunities to things like over time because we've had these vaccines and everything.
I see.
But the more people don't do that, the more people don't vaccinate, then the more the diseases can overtake us. Does that make sense?
So basically, the anti-vax. That's why everyone's mad at the anti-vaxxers, because it's not that.
Should we look it up?
I think let's do it for the next episode.
Well, how often are we going to do these? We need to discuss.
You know what? That is a good question. That is.
Are we going to do this weekly?
We could do like a Twitter poll.
I think.
Like
no, never let Twitter decide. I think weekly at the most frequent.
1 week in safer at home orders feels like a year to me.
Well, but that's the thing is you have to have. There's not going to be much to talk about if we were to do it on a nightly basis.
No, but maybe we could. Oh, do we have to say when? Can't people just like hit the button and subscribe and be like excited when there's a new one?
That's true. We could just drop it on whenever we feel like it.
I mean, there are no rules anymore. We're living in.
Oh, this is Mad Max times. There's no more rules.
I say hopefully weekly, but if we get like a wild hair, like we might want a date night on like a Tuesday, right?
Because this is our date night.
This is our date night.
We've been indoors for a week, but this is our
tonight
date
is
night.
Tonight is our pandemic date night.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Guys, this is all uncharted waters.
Now, what have we been doing? We have been staying inside, watching TV, pretending like it's new that we watch a lot of TV.
Oh, my God, guys. This is what's funny about me and Paul. Or, I mean, this is what's funny about us.
Hold on a second.
Honey, what's funny about us?
Sit down. Brace yourselves. What's funny about us?
We watch a lot of TV.
That's right.
Like, we're really into television.
Like many couples, we have our shows that we must watch together.
Yeah.
Then we have shows that we watch separately.
Yeah. I'm like, Paul watches like, I don't know, like more fantasy sci-fi stuff without, like he watched Picard and Star Wars and stuff without me.
True.
You were shaking your head no just a second ago.
Because just because I like those things more than you do doesn't mean that's what I am.
I didn't say it's what you
No,
were.
you said Paul's like, he's like sci-fi, fantasy.
No, but that's what you watch without me.
Yeah, that's what I watch without. But see, I had to make it clear to the listener because you paint me with this broad brush.
Paul, no, you contain multitudes.
That's right.
I would never.
I'm large.
Who?
I'm large.
Oh, large. I thought you said Marge.
I'm Marge. I contain multitudes.
I thought you were like, isn't Marge, isn't she from The Simpsons?
Yes, there is a Marge from The
I
Simpsons.
thought it was like
Isn't she from The Simpsons?
I thought that was a Simpsons reference that I didn't know about because I stopped watching The Simpsons when I was in my 20s.
Yes, me too.
Okay.
I contain multitudes. The beginning of that phrase is I am large, I contain multitudes. But everyone cuts out the I am large part.
You know what?
Because it's unflattering.
It's not nice.
No.
It's like, you know.
You don't want to start saying I am large and then have somebody immediately, before you can get out I contain multitudes.
Why don't you join Weight Watchers?
Why don't you join I am large. Why don't you join Weight Watchers?
I contain multitude. That's like the Thanksgiving dinner conversation. And your aunt, like, whoever is like, honey, why don't you join Weight Watchers? And you're like, I'm quoting poetry.
Will you tell the it's an insult to the family story?
Oh, okay, guys. So
this is one of my favorite stories.
This is like my dad. Okay, guys. I feel like I don't even know how to tell the story. You're good at telling. Paul wasn't there, but like basically, like I have this big Lebanese family. They all most of them live in West Virginia, which is where I was born. And one of my cousins had brought home a girlfriend, and we were all gathered at like one of my aunts. My dad is the youngest of 6. They all, had like a gazillion babies. Not my dad. My dad's the youngest of 6, but they were like, I have like 22 or first cousins or something like that. So anyway, he brought home some girlfriend, and my aunt, it's like a big deal. Like my aunt like makes all this like Lebanese food by hand. Mm-hmm. And so we were there, and then we were driving away like down the mountain in West Virginia's mountains.
It's you and your dad.
It's me and my dad and my stepmom.
Yeah. Just the 3 of you?
Just the 3 of us. Yeah. My brother was not there for some reason. I was like there visiting, I don't know, like right after college or something. And my stepmother goes, well, I don't know if you noticed, but as she said my cousin's name, his girlfriend did not eat any of the grape leaf rolls that Aunt Peggy made by hand. And my dad slammed on the brakes. And he took his hand and he banged the roof. And he goes, it's an insult to the family. And he was like, it was a gag. It was like a gag. It wasn't like real, but he like slammed the car, and it was like dark. It was like 10 o'clock at night, like in the winter. And he slammed and he goes, it's an insult. And then I was like laughing so hard, like tears were rolling down my face. And now it's so stupid. What's that story? Is that a good story? Why do you like it so much? It's funny. It's a funny gag. Because he was being silent. It's a very funny gag. It was like going on and on, like the conversation, and he was like being silent. Like you didn't even really know he was like kind of listening, And I was like, oh, she didn't eat the grape.
Because she talked about it for a while.
Yeah, like we were like kind of going along. And it was like the gag was like he was like building this rage about it. But like no one really gave a shit, really. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that girlfriend, I don't think lasted. It was just like one of many. When you have like 21 first cousins or, like you can't even keep up with people.
Yeah.
You have a lot of cousins too.
I do, yeah. I have 7 on my mom's side and 8 on my dad's side.
I have 0 on my mom's side.
That's right.
My mom is an only child.
Yeah. Not us, man. Catholic all the way. Everybody was Catholic.
Yeah, there's I had the Catholic stuff. Yeah.
What were we talking about? Anyway, so
we were talking about.
We rewatched Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, we rewatched.
Which is great. Highly recommended if you've never seen it. It's on HBO Go.
It's really good.
It holds up like crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's about a real thing.
True, but there are some things about real things that don't hold up that well.
What do you mean?
Well, I think that there's other, just because it's about a real event doesn't mean that it automatically holds up. It's well done.
It's well done.
In addition to being about a very, huge, earth-shaking event.
Historically
it's
accurate.
very well done. And it's,
One of the things, because I've seen it, I think I've seen it now like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. I think me too, yeah.
Yeah. And what really struck me this recent viewing is how senseless war is. And like it wasn't completely like a hammered over your head theme of the story, because really I think they were just honoring these particular men's bravery and story.
Yeah. And they're trying to say this is what it was like.
Exactly. This is what it was like.
As close as we can come to that.
Yeah, and trying to tell the story with empathy. But it was like kind of like oh, you're watching it and there are these like young people who are doing this, who's just like putting themselves in this trauma for what? I mean, it's so crazy when you think about it.
You can't help but trip out on when you see just the idea of armies, you know, on either side of a line shooting at each other. It just seems demented, and
it really does.
You can't help but trip out on how
it's
absurd
just, it's
war
like
is.
murder in broad daylight.
Yeah.
It's like sanctioned murder out in the open, lawlessness in broad daylight.
But then just when you're thinking that, they hit you with that second to last episode where it's like
where they liberate the camps.
Yeah, and they're like, this is a spoiler, but this is
they liberated the camps, guys.
This is why they did it. This is why it was necessary at the time, you know.
Right.
But anyway, so we did that. We have been.
I want to. Here's what I want.
Yeah.
If there are any Hollywood executives out there listening. I have an idea for a streaming channel that would really appeal to me. And
this is a great pitch so far.
I think I'm not the only one is kind of where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
I love movies, made for TV movies and mini series from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So I would love a library of all of that content available on demand, starting on, you know, right now during this quarantine.
Right.
How do we get it?
What's the closest network that's doing that?
I don't know. I mean, I found some old like TV movies on Amazon Prime.
Amazon has a lot of that crazy old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can't really access it. Like you can't be like TV movies from the 80s and then you find it.
Here's
it's
the
like
problem,
you
though.
stumble across
Here's
it.
the problem.
What?
Is that you're talking about a channel that has finite content.
Well, then Amazon Prime needs to create. They need to acquire all of it. All of the rights. Like it should be on one place. It should be like a like a segment of Amazon Hulu
You're saying
network,
it should be like what
Netflix.
AMC used to be.
Yeah.
Where they would show or Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah.
Where they would just show old movies.
Yes, and I also have another idea. Hollywood executives, if you're listening, like every now and then I would like to dip in. You know how people will do like, oh, this day in history in 1968 on March 19th in 1968, this happened, this was signed into law, or this person broke this record.
Yeah.
I would like to like hit like the year 1975, March 19th, and watch whatever was on like the TV that day.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Like I want to relive like certain days of my youth. This is a Generation X idea, okay? Because Gen X, we're into nostalgia. You know, and we were raised by television, essentially. I was.
Yeah, well, we were the first. I think we were the first big nostalgia generation in that way.
Yeah. Is there another nostalgia generation?
Every generation after us is still like very much obsessed with the stuff.
Oh, they
from
like
their
Saved
youth
by the Bell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people that we were the first generation, I think, to not let go of things in that way.
Yeah.
Where like Scooby-Doo is just as good now as it was then. And it's like, no, it was a terrible show always. We were just children when we watched it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think everybody now, that's just the way it is now, is that you hang on to these things from when you were a kid and you give them equal weight with things that you enjoy as an adult.
But one of the reasons why I think our generation is super obsessed with nostalgia is because we the older we got, the more flooded with information we got. Like, you know, first we had 3 channels. Then we had cable and we had like MTV. Then we had like HBO, you know, like we kept like getting flooded. And there's never been a moment for reflection. And it just like came at us. And now we have the internet and now we have like, you know, YouTube and Quibi or whatever the hell that is and stuff. So like there's like, I think we crave those like simpler times when media was shared in real time together. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
That could be. I mean,
or is that every generation? Because some people were born when they had like no indoor plumbing, and then by the time they died, there was like, we got a telephone or whatever.
I mean, I used to think about the things that my mother saw in the span of her life, because she was born in the 20s. She was born in 1929.
Wow.
And
that was like the
Great. She died in 2006. Yeah, she was a Depression baby for sure. And so to see all the things that she saw developed in her lifetime.
Oh, she lived through both wars.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, just
the
one.
No, just the one. But she
lived, Vietnam,
Vietnam, Korea,
Yeah.
But all the inventions, all the advancements, all the technology,
right?
Vaccines, everything.
Like they didn't have TV when she was like they didn't have like.
Yeah, by the end of her life, she was using a computer.
Like they were all like sitting around a radio, like when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And like listening. If
they had a radio,
Yeah. Yeah.
But then think about all the stuff that we've seen.
Oh my God.
I feel like it accelerated in such a crazy way.
So crazy.
But also we were the last generation, I think, to experience pop culture just as it happened. Like we were getting VHSs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you had tapes, but we were old enough. We weren't like little kids who were watching the same tape every day.
Right.
You know?
Right. We didn't really have that capability yet.
So like The Simpsons is a big demarcator, I think, because we watched it when it was on Sunday nights.
Yeah, we did.
But then the generation after us watched it in syndication. So they'd like come home from school. They'd see these episodes again and again and again and again.
Right.
And it's in their consciousness in a way that it's not for us.
It's so crazy to me that like they watched it differently. Like when Simpsons was out in the 90s, and I remember when I was like a short, like on the Tracy Ullman show and all that stuff. But like when it came out, it was like the night was a big deal because it was also X-Files.
That's
and so
right.
Like I would go to my friend Aaron Ginsberg's house, and like we would all gather on Sunday nights, specifically like at his apartment, to watch Simpsons and X-Files. Mm-hmm. Like it was a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And X-Files, I would argue, was the big main event, like over Simpsons.
Yes, because the Simpsons was a fun comedy show, but the X-Files was, who knew what was going to happen? It was crazy drama. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were so good, right? Like David Duchovny and
Duchovny.
I've gotten to the bottom of my cocktail. Wait, and like I remember too, like we would watch stuff together. Like in college, I'd go to my friend Allie's house apartment, and we'd watch 90210 and Melrose Place. Mm-hmm. And I would argue Melrose Place was the main event over 90210. But that was just me. That was just my preference.
Adult show, steamier.
Yeah, it was steamier. I remember when the big earthquake hit, and I was like, "Oh my God, is the cast of Melrose Place okay?" Do you remember when that happened?
I remember when the earthquake happened. I was not there for your concern about the cast of Melrose Place.
Yeah, I want to say it was like you weren't there.
Was that your first thought?
I feel like I saw a thing in People magazine about it where they're like, "Oh my gosh, like so and so's okay. She was here when the earthquake hit."
People's lives were destroyed, but how is the cast of Melrose Place doing?
Right? I don't know. You were not here during the earthquake.
I got here right after it. I got here the same year. It happened in February, and I got here in April.
You know what freaks me out about the pandemic?
What?
Well, because in Utah, like 2 days ago, they had an earthquake, and it knocked out the coronavirus hotline.
Ugh.
So, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't.
So
like,
people couldn't request their songs.
It wasn't. Guys, that was what you've been waiting for.
Listen, if you have any songs you want us to play for the coronavirus, leave them in the comments.
Someone out there has covered my Sharona with my Corona so far, right? That's happened.
Probably somebody has. Weird Al actually.
It was like a meme or something.
Weird Al actually tweeted, "I'm not going to do that."
Thank you.
Because I'm sure he was inundated.
Yeah, he was like, "Come on, guys, I can come up with my own ideas." I'm Weird Al. I'm not,
Yeah, Weird Al. I come up with my own ideas, guys.
Also, like, first thought, not always best thought when you're Weird Al. Like, you go a little outside the box.
Yeah, people are going to try to tell Weird Al his process, and they're wrong. They're wrong.
You have a Weird Al story, which I'm sure you told on television. So
I have, yes. It's on Laboring Under Delusions.
Guys, there's
my special from 2006.
No.
Later than that.
That was like 2009 or something.
I think it came out in 2010 or 2011. But you can buy it online.
Guys, that's
Laboring
our big
Under
plug.
Delusions.
It's like our big plug. That's instead of
That's our big plug. That's it. We're gonna plug one thing per episode.
We're not raising money for charity.
We're not raising no celebrities. Not raising money for charity.
We have no
one plug.
No guests.
No ads.
No sponsors. No nothing, guys. No nothing.
We're recording this by candlelight.
I just want everyone out there. Another reason why I want to do this, besides the fact that we're stuck at home and we have nothing else to do, and we have recording equipment. Did we talk about the fact that the recording equipment was in the garage, and I'm scared of the garage?
We did not talk about that. The recording equipment was in the garage. Janie's scared of the garage. I'm not scared of the garage.
I'm scared of it.
So I went and unpacked it and brought it in.
Yeah, because we discovered other people were doing stay-at-home podcasts as well, you know,
that we talked about.
We did talk about that?
Yeah, and the less we say about that, the better.
Okay, well, I'm just
it's
saying.
It's not a competition. There's room for everybody to do the stay-at-home podcast.
I think there's room for everybody because we can't leave our house.
Yeah, everybody should be doing this.
So we're stuck here. Okay, so another reason I want to do this is because not just like, oh, we don't have anything to do and we have this thing to record or whatever, and we're not scientists and we have no information to offer and we have no ability to raise money for charities. But there's another reason, and that is connection. Connection. Which can be more valuable sometimes. Like, we're all sort of experiencing this weird time in our lifetimes. Yeah. And I think it's going to take us a really long time to make sense of it. Like, like 5 years from now when everything's fine and we've, like, cured cancer and maybe viruses. Like
5 years.
I have to think 5 years out right now.
Well, you can think 5 years out, but I don't think we're going to cure cancer in 5 years. Do you?
Well, Biden is leading in the election, and he said he was going to cure cancer.
That sounds kind of pie in the sky to me.
Well, my point is this. 5 years from now, we're going to, first of all, Alex Gibney, if you're listening, I'm a big fan. I hope that you will be doing a docuseries about coronavirus that I can watch in 5 years. First of all, I think you'll win an Emmy for it. Second of all, your docuseries are the best things ever.
What if it was a dramatic 80s style miniseries about the coronavirus?
Well, that can happen too, because, you know, they're doing that whole thing with the dropout, the Theranos lady, Elizabeth Holmes.
Yes.
They ran the gamut, okay? They ran the gamut. They started with a book, which I read.
True.
I read. The book, my personal opinion, maybe the book is the best of everything. Then, secondly, after the book, they did the podcast, right? Which covered a lot of the book. Thirdly, Alex Gibney docuseries, big fan. If you're listening, love everything you do. And then, fourthly, a mini series is in development.
That's correct. Which I auditioned for.
Yes,
and I did not get it.
You don't know that? Probably got put on hold.
I'm sure it got put on. Everything got put on hold, but I think I knew before it got put on hold.
Yeah, but they said that it wasn't start shooting until April, and casting can. Okay, listen, guys. Listen. If you're casting that many, first of all, I know I said the book was the best. Who do
you think is listening to this?
I don't know. I know I said the book was the best. Maybe the miniseries will be the best.
It has yet to be proven.
I'm just saying, like, as far as COVID-19 coronavirus 2020 pandemic goes, there can be books, there can be articles, there can be an 80s style miniseries. Okay. There can also be an Alex Gibney docuseries.
What about a manga?
What's that?
You know, I'm not really sure.
What you made that? You know what?
It's a thing that people like. I've never been quite clear on what it is.
Is it a fruit?
I don't know what the difference is between manga and anime.
Is there animation involved?
I guess not. I guess maybe that's the crucial difference. Maybe if it's just like a comic book, it's a manga. And once it's animated, it becomes an anime.
Well, you know what? In 5 years, we might need a manga. We might need an anime. We might need the docuseries. We might need the book. We might need the 80s miniseries. in order to understand this period in history. My point.
What about a 200-part series on Quibi? 10 minutes at a time.
You think in 5 years Quibi's still going to be a thing?
Oh, so you don't think they're listening?
All these
Quibi. Hollywood execs are listening.
Quibi.
Alex Gibney's listening.
Quibi.
Casting director of The Dropout.
You think Quibi doesn't have a sense of humor?
Come on, Quibi, you gotta laugh.
You think they're not making the same jokes in the halls of Quibi about their own product?
Look, honey, I'm a CISO survivor. Okay, so these jokes hurt my feelings.
CISO was a very short-lived. I know I'm not supposed to explain things, right?
We don't explain things. We explain things to each other. We don't explain things to the listener.
Look up
They
CISO.
they have time to look things up now.
What if we get some senior citizen listeners or a little
Aww,
behind?
they still have time.
But I don't want to make them have to Google CISO.
Oh, come on. It'll be fun.
Make
them make their kids do it.
They're going to They were going to read the wiki page.
If you're a senior citizen listening, make your kids tell you what CISO is.
If you're a senior citizen listening, I hope that you are being looked after and that you like our podcast and we offer you a laugh. Paul did get a really good one off there in the middle. I can't remember what it was, but it was really good.
Hey, man, there's more where that came from. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. Why don't we wrap this up?
Is our date night over?
For them. These creeps.
Wait, are we supposed to tell
listening in on our date night?
We're supposed to tell them what we're binging. Oh, you know what I'm very excited about?
Okay, so we did Band of Brothers. What's next for us? We were talking about The Sopranos, which we haven't seen since it went off the air.
I know, but I kind of want you to watch the original Roots, which I'm obsessed with. And I don't even know if I can find it.
We'll look for it. We'll find it.
Have you seen the original?
It's been a while, but I've seen it.
Oh, so good.
I mean, I definitely saw it when it was on.
Well, that was a long time.
When I was a kid. Yeah, it was a huge deal.
I'm sure I saw it when I was on, but then I saw it as an adult, and I was like so blown away by the acting. Like every actor in it is so insanely present and like so, like dedicated to the storytelling of it in such a way that is visceral.
Yeah.
It's so freaking good.
It's a hugely impressive cast.
It is so good.
Yeah.
No, what I'm excited about that's coming out, and I don't know how to consume it, but I mean, it's on HBO. I mean, like it's going to come out every week, which I don't want. I want to kind of binge it, but it's so the My Brilliant Friend series of books. It's a quadrilogy, and it's so good. It's called like the Neapolitan series. There are these 4 books that this Italian writer wrote, and her like identity was secret forever, and like that kind of thing. And it's basically this epic story of this female friendship from childhood to late adulthood, and it is like so absorbing. And they already did the first book on HBO, My Brilliant Friend. So season 2 has just dropped. And they went on like this crazy big search for the actresses for the kids, because like they're not going to be in the whole series. They're only going to be in the first 2. They probably introduced the adult versions at the end of this one, and it was like this whole big thing where they found them, and and it all takes place in Italy, and it was shot in Italy, and now Italy is going through this horrible trauma with the coronavirus. So I know, small way, I guess I'll feel like I'm supporting Italy. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm excited about next, but I don't know if I should watch it all at once and like wait for it to. How am I going to do that? I'm stuck at home.
Well,
how am I going to do it?
For people listening, that's a binge recommendation. The first season of My Brilliant Friend.
Definitely.
I'd also like to recommend, of course, Band of Brothers is amazing.
Is great. We talked about Sopranos.
Here's 2 recommendations for people. The series Patriot, which is an Amazon Prime show.
Which I haven't seen.
Only 2 seasons. You can watch that. Very entertaining show.
I have one.
Lodge 49.
Oh, yeah.
Another show that only got 2 seasons. It was originally on AMC, but I think you can get it on Hulu now. It's a terrific show. We love it.
Paul has a role.
I have a small cameo in an episode towards the end of the last season. You know what? And of course, Bajillion Dollar Properties.
Oh, you gotta watch Bajillion.
Which I'm in, and is one of my favorite things that I've ever done.
Paul's character in Bajillion Dollar Properties is maybe the most underrated, overlooked comedic.
Honey,
I'm serious.
That's very sweet of you to say.
Wait, I'm not blowing smoke.
I know you mean it.
Like I can't breathe sometimes when I think about like the bits like he came up with in Bajillion, and it's free on Pluto, right?
Pluto TV.
Wait, I have
all 4 seasons. It's a great cast. It's improvised comedy.
So funny. Our friend Kulap made it.
Yeah, maybe the best job I've ever had. It was so much fun.
I hated that was the CISO. That was the CISO experience.
That's my CISO scar.
It's a CISO wound. It's a wound.
Because it'll never close?
Wait, do wounds close? They don't close?
Well, I mean, by saying wound,
it
makes me think that it's still open. Because I said scar, and then you
can
changed
say
it to wound.
open wound.
Ugh. I mean, you can.
To me, wound means like it could be closed, but you were psychologically damaged.
You can have an old war wound. But I'm just, because I said scar and then you changed it to wound, I thought you meant that it was still
not
open. A festering sore.
Yeah. We don't always know what the other one is saying. That is like a thing.
It's marriage, baby.
It's not marriage.
Huh?
Some married couples.
What?
Like they know. Some married couples know what the other one is saying.
Why are you saying it like that?
Seriously.
You're saying it like there's a married couple in the next room.
They know. Like it kind of is wild to me sometimes. Because I'm like, no, like we're trying to communicate and it takes all this effort sometimes.
Oh, that's not true.
Wait, I wanted to make my recommendation.
Go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
We started talking. I wanted to mention honorable mention. Speaking of AMC, where you can find Lodge 49, *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yeah, good one. Yes, *Halt and Catch Fire*. We discovered after it had already all aired.
Well, it got aired on Netflix.
Yes.
It's
on Netflix now.
It's on Netflix now.
Or it might not be.
Ooh, I hope it is.
If you can find it, you might have to buy it. I don't know, but if you seek it out, it's so good. It's 4 seasons.
That would be such a bummer if you have.
That would be a bummer.
Netflix.
I hope it's still streaming somewhere for free.
Okay, so basically, we were like, oh, this is a cool like 80s period show. Let's check it out because we liked Mad Men at the time, and then we started watching it and we were like, this isn't as good as Mad Men, and then it had like this whole rediscovery or resurgence. Maybe after it got on Netflix or something.
Yeah, we had just watched the pilot, and then we didn't watch it again, and then we kept hearing how good it was.
Yeah, and then
we watched it on Netflix.
Guys,
yeah.
OMG, it is.
That means oh my god, it's so good.
It is so. I like things about the creative process. I don't know if you enjoy. Do you like watching things about the?
I do like Topsy Turvy, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, like things about the creative process are so wildly interesting to me. And that's what it is about. Yeah, in my opinion, it's a great
show with 4 main leads and then a couple other people that are main characters throughout the show. Everyone's terrific.
So good.
It's really well written.
The female characters, the women characters in it are like some of the best, like treated, in my opinion. Yeah. By show creators, and I think it's like 2 dudes who are the showrunners. Yeah. Yeah.
Christopher Cantwell and they're both named Christopher.
Christopher.
Right?
Yes.
Christopher Cantwell and Christopher C. Rogers.
Yes.
I see the title card now in my brain.
2 Christophers. Do you think they just...
2 Christophers.
Thank you to the 2 Christophers.
Thank you, 2 Christophers.
Well, I guess that's our first episode.
Yeah, we did it. We said we were going to wrap up, and then we talked for 10 more minutes.
Well...
That's the wrap up. It's a 10-minute wrap up.
Here's what's crazy. I talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this genre...
It's like falling off a log.
What does that mean?
It means it's easy.
Why is falling off a log
falling off a log? It's not hard to do.
But when are you
You've never heard that expression before?
But why are you on the log? Why are you on it?
You want a backstory for an expression?
Is it for those people that run across the ponds with the logs? You know what
No,
I'm talking
the
about?
log roller, like people do log rolling.
Yeah.
No, as easy as falling off a log means like if you're sitting on a log and you fall off of it.
Why would you? That's no.
I can't believe you've never heard this expression before.
Maybe I did.
And then you're demanding a backstory for it.
I think it's the log runners.
Okay. We can look it up.
It seems higher risk.
We could look.
It seems higher risk than sitting.
It's not about It's not about risk. It's about what's easier to do.
Guys. First of all, let's just say if you didn't love this episode,
go fuck yourself, number one.
I love when Paul gets Philly. Oh, y'all. That is like the best. When he gets like Philly. Like he gets Philly. By the way, he's wearing a Philly sweatshirt right now.
It's very true.
I'm like, no, your Spontaneous Nation hat.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like this inaugural episode, hang in there with us.
Because every other episode will be exactly like this.
And eventually you'll be so bored with your life staying home that
you'll have to listen. You'll have gone through everything else.
You'll start, it'll be like what is the thing when you fall in love with your kidnapper? Stockholm
syndrome. You don't fall in love.
You don't? What about
I mean, you could. You identify with your captor.
Identify.
Yeah.
So that's going to, we should have called it Stockholm Syndrome with Paul and Janie. No?
Stock F syndrome.
Stock F syndrome.
It's too late.
Wait, you know
we
what?
already did the artwork. It's too late.
Stock F syndrome is the sequel for when we are
when
allowed.
we kidnap someone.
No, we're allowed. No, we'll have kidnapped our listeners during the the pandemic.
Sure.
Okay. Everyone, please stay sane, stay healthy.
Stay home.
Stay home. Stay compassionate.
Yes.
Ask about folks. By the way, we had our neighbor over. We put a chair out in the yard. Okay. She was taking a walk, and we put a chair out in the yard. We sat on our stoop. We stayed up, I want to say, like 8 feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
Outside.
Yeah.
She sat there. We sat where we sat, and we were able to have interaction. So I don't know. You might be in New York City. You might not be able to do that. You have to use technology. That's also good. But there are like creative ways that you can still interact.
Absolutely. And you know what? Check in on people. I've been checking in on people. People have been checking in on me. It's really a wonderful thing. We are all in this together, even if we do not want to be. This is just the way it is.
Yeah.
But
I don't know who to be mad at. We'll talk about that in the next episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a constructive use of our time. All right. Well, I guess we're signing off.
Until
and we'll
next
see you next time.
time.